Example number 1. Jeremy's credit card was stolen, and the thief charged $48 at a restaurant and $125 at a department store on the card before it was reported stolen to the bank. A. How much is Jeremy responsible for paying? B. How much is the bank responsible for due to the Truth in Lending Act? And C. If he had notified the bank before the charges were made, how much would he be responsible for? So all three parts of this question refer to the Truth in Lending Act. And that act states that the maximum liability that a person can pay when their credit card is stolen is $50. And if they notify the bank before any charges are made, they don't have to pay anything. So for Part A, the maximum liability would be $50, and since the thief charged more than $50, he would have to pay $50. Then for Part B, it asks how much would the bank be responsible for paying. Well, it would be responsible for the rest. So the first thing you would want to do is add the $48 that the thief charged at the restaurant plus the $125 that they charged at a department store, and we get that total. So 8 plus 5 is 13, 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 2 is 7, and then 0 plus 1 is 1. So they charged $173, and then we subtract the $50 that Jeremy has to pay, so the bank would be responsible for the rest, which would be $123. So the answer for B is $123. And then for Part C, it says, if he had notified the bank before the charges were made, how much would he be responsible for? And that would be 0. He would owe $0 or nothing. Okay. Example number 2. Paul has a credit limit of $15,000 on his credit card. The summary on his credit card statement is below. How much available credit does Paul have? And then there's a table with the summary, previous balance of $4,598.12, payments and credits of $4,000, new purchases of $1,369.55, a late charge of $20, and a finance charge of $5.78. In order to solve example number 2, we will need to know the following two formulas. The first one is that we would have to find the new balance by using the previous balance minus the payments plus the purchases plus the finance charge plus the late charge. Then once we get that, to find the available credit, we're going to do the credit limit minus the new balance. To find the new balance, we're going to take the previous balance, which is $4,598.12, subtract the payments of $4,000, add in the new purchases of $1,369.55, add in the late charge of $20, and then finally add the finance charge of $5.78. And when we do that, the new balance is going to be $1,993.45. Then finally, to answer the problem, we need to find the available credit. It told us at the very beginning that the credit limit was $15,000. So we do the credit limit of $15,000 minus the new balance of $1,993.45, and we get the available credit of $13,006.55. And that is our answer. For example number 3, It says Mark's credit card transactions are on the right. Fill in the missing information in the summary. And if you look below, we have the summary, and we have A, B, C, and D to fill in. So for A, it's the payments and the credits, and that would be $51, right up there. So for A, it would just be $51, because that's the payments and the credits. And we just get that by looking at the statement. For B, it's the new purchases. So we're going to have to add up all of these new purchases. So we add up all the new purchases, $90.68 plus $10.65 plus $36.44 plus $40.33 plus $7.50 plus $32.25 plus $25.75 plus $8.56, and we get a total of $252.16. So that's what goes in B. So now that we have found A and B, we can find C and D. C is the new balance, so we're going to use the new balance formula. And then D is the available credit, so we will do the new credit formula. To find the new balance, we will do the previous balance, which is $1,827.79, minus the payments and credits for $51, then add up the new purchases of $252.16, plus the finance charge of $37, plus the late charge of $0. And that gives us a total of $2,065.95. For Part D, to find the available credit, we know that the credit line is $2,900. So we do $2,900 minus the new balance of $2,065.95, and we get that available credit as $834.05.